I've missed it. I've missed the cheers and I've missed the boos. That's what's great about New York sports fans. They're probably among the most sophisticated sports fans in the world. They're hard people to get down and keep down for long, and that's what makes it great. And they're the same way as sports fans. I think it takes time to develop all of those skills to be able to stand up there and even get close to hitting a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It's a scare in itself. So I think that's why baseball takes so long. And this program has been 5 years in the making, and now we're starting to see the fruition of it. I went out and watched our young pitchers the other day, combined with our regular pitchers, our present-day Major League pitchers. We have such talent in pitching. I was so excited to see them. Now, I didn't see them throw, but I know they can throw. But what I saw was big men, big fellas, and smaller guys, but very good athletes. I think after all the years I've had as a coach and a competitor, 40 years in athletics, I can judge an athlete. And I see a lot of fine athletes among those young pitchers. I've known Buck since he was in the minor league camp. I watched him run his 40s down there. He just didn't want anybody to beat him. There were faster men in the squad, but a 40-yard dash tells you a lot about an athlete. And he's a detail guy. That little tablet, he writes down notes and he goes back and studies and organizes. You take care of the little details in business or in athletics, and the big things take care of themselves. Buck Showalter's a real rising star among managers. I'm a pretty intense guy, and my dedication to winning will never change. I mean, until they say that you're not best when you finish first, I'll never stop trying to be there.
I introduce to you now the newest member of the Yankee family, Mr. Wade Boggs.
I'm looking forward to being a Yankee, and I think it's going to be a terrific situation here in New York.
Bill. Jim Abbott, Spike Owen, and Paul O'Neill.
I'm looking forward to playing here. To me, it's always been an exciting city. It's always been in a city with a lot of energy.
I love playing. There's nothing like playing in Yankee Stadium.
Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati is nice. It's a nice field with AstroTurf and a round stadium, but it's nothing like this. Once you get out in the field, you can say, you know, this is what baseball is all about.
Used the whole field. I feel like I got back a lot of my stroke that I'd kind of gotten away from hitting the ball the other way and up the middle and through the left side of through the infield. So I feel like my game has kind of returned, and now I just want to take it back up another step and see what happens from there.
I have a good time playing defense. I think it's very important. I place a lot of importance on how the game goes and you know, what you can do to be a good defensive player. It's just a matter of wanting to be a good defensive player. If you want to be a good defensive player, you can be. It's a matter of going out and working on it.
Don Mattingly, you know, he's going to be great to play with. He's playing against him for many years and knowing the type of player he was and hard-nosed and a gamer. You know, that's one side of it. Obviously, I'm going to enjoy playing with him, and just his skills alone. Defensively, having him at first base, all you know is you got to get it over there somewhere in the vicinity, and he's going to make the play.
That's what you need when you're a young player, you know, when you question your abilities and things like that. Just a positive. You gotta keep on looking at the positives and just go on from there. I've always been a pull hitter, you know, and that's what I'm working on now. I can hit that inside pitch. I know I can now. It's, you know, to work that pitch away where I'm hitting the ball to right field instead of pulling on balls, pulling off balls, staying through balls, and that's part of the game I'm working on. And the better I do that, the longer I'm going to be here and the more successful I'm going to be.
We've got a group of guys in here that can do things and make things happen and win ball games. Now, when you talk about the lineup and the pitching staff, I could go through the whole thing, but we have a great mixture of a lot of veteran players that have been not only in the World Series and playoffs, but have had great, outstanding individual numbers. We've had all kinds of different combinations there, and I think that that mix, along with some of the younger guys, it's going to be exciting. I want the ball as quick as possible. Don't try to throw it right over the bag every time or on this side. Just give it to me and I'll work with it. And they're the same way. So it takes a lot of pressure off the guy that's giving the feed up as far as on a double play, because all I know is I want to field it clean and get it out of there.
Well, Spike, you know, I think sometimes we get caught up in the aura of Spike being such a gutsy, fiery player that's a veteran, and he is all those things. And he's not afraid to voice his opinion, and he's not afraid to hurt somebody's feelings if he has to. But I think we sometimes lose the fact that this is a pretty talented kid. He's got good hands. He's got a very accurate arm. He knows how to play the hitters. He's a tough out to plate, especially in an RBI situation. And he's capable of being 0 for 3 and come up in the ninth inning and drive in a big run for you.
Well, basically, I've got my concentration and my focus back. I lost that last year, and it's something that's very vital to me. See the ball and hit the ball. That's basically all I try to do. I try to adjust and make adjustment through my swing on what type of pitch it is. I pick up spin and these kinds of things, and I hit off of that. I don't guess. I don't look location. I don't do a lot of things that a lot of big leaguers do. I wait to see the ball. I wait to see rotation. I wait to see spin on sliders and these kinds of things. So consequently, I'm staying back and staying through the ball, and that's one reason I've hit the ball to left field so much. The only rivalry in baseball is to get to the playoffs. That's your rivalry. Everybody else is your rival. There's not one team that stands out and says, okay, we have to beat those guys 8 times, and we don't have to worry about Cleveland. You have to beat everybody to go to the playoffs.
Boggs is a long-time underrated third baseman. Probably should have had a couple of Gold Gloves.
Boggs made himself an outstanding defensive player a few years ago. We want him out there, and I really believe that he's going to hit 300.
Every day come up and it's a different challenge. You know, that's the way I look at it. You know, one day I'm playing short, next day I'm playing left field. And at first I used to look at it like, well, gosh, you know, it's going to be something that much more difficult. But now I've pretty much matured in the way that I look at it as a challenge, and I really challenge myself and the position that I play at. Not only do I want to instill in my teammates that I'm just stuck out there because we need a body there, but I want them to realize that they have confidence in me and being in that position as well.
I think that as athletes, you know, a lot of kids look up to us. They probably look down to me, but they look up to us, and I have no problem with that. I kind of I'll take on that responsibility. Now, offensively on turf, you know, the ball gets to the infield quicker, and for me, my game is line drives, ground balls, and when you hit a lot of ground balls on turf, it gets to the infield a little bit quicker.
I feel that we can compete with anybody out there. We've got the ability, we've got the personality, we've got the determination, we've got the experience, we've got the youth. We've got it all. We've got the pitching. There's no doubt about that. And with Boggs and Don and Dartable, that's pretty much a Nintendo lineup.
I feel really comfortable hitting. I feel really comfortable playing the outfield. Even playing first base, I'm really relaxed, and I've come a long way playing defense at third base. I think that I'm a more complete player now than I was maybe 4 years ago.
When I first signed in '86 and went to Oneonta, the single A team in upstate New York, and then put on the pinstripes for the first time, it was real exciting to me. But I'd have to say, when I finally got a chance to put them on in Yankee Stadium and got into that box where all the big sluggers have hit in their careers, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, and especially the left-handed hitters, it was a big rush for me. So it's nice to be able to follow in that tradition.
As long as there's people ahead of us in the standings, we got some work to be done, and I certainly take losing hard, and I'm not ashamed of that. I want our people to take it hard, but I also want to learn from it and improve on it. Communication is not walking up to a player every day and saying hello to him. It's not greeting the guy every day at the door. That's not communication. If I had to define it, where baseball sense is involved, it's probably telling a player what he needs to know every day to make him a better player, and to let him know what's going on, what's going to be expected of him that day, and not leaving him up in the air about the day ahead of him and the season ahead of him, what his role is going to be. Sometimes you have to tell guys things that they don't want to hear. That's uncomfortable for both parties. But in the long run, it's a lot better off to have that policy, to be up front with the players and know that when you tell them something, it's going to come to pass. And if you tell them something, it's for their own good, and you're going to deal with them on a professional manner and treat them as men, but at the same time you expect something back in return. Baseball, just like life, is a constant learning experience. I'm never going to reach the stage in my life where I feel like I know everything or not open to learning experiences. I always get a little peeved when I hear someone say they would have never done anything differently, because if we'd have known a guy was going to give up a home run, we wouldn't have brought him in a game. If we'd known a guy was going to strike out, we wouldn't have used him to pinch hit. And then there's things in everybody's life they would have done differently, but we feel very good about the way we went about things, and we'll continue to operate in the same fashion as far as our work habits go. But there's certain things that we learned from last year about other players, about our own people, that we'll certainly put into use.
I like our lineup. I think that we've really improved in our lineup, and I think that we're going to go out this season and hopefully put something together that we can be proud of. I like the fact that I have some people in front of me that are going to be on base pretty much all the time, and I like the guys behind me that are going to be able to hit. If I show them that I can hit the ball the other way out of the ballpark, then they come back into where I want them to be, and I think that helps me. Young kids need heroes, need people that they need to look up to. And they've done that. I think that that's what baseball needs to do with us, the baseball players. I think we need to be more out there for them to see the inner city kids, to be able to have someone that they could idolize as they grow up, someone that they could hope on to be like. I think that we're not out there enough, other than just the baseball game and the newspaper and TVs. I think that we need to get out there a little bit more, more so like the NBA has done their basketball players.
My main concern now is just to be a good base runner, because I would like to wipe every doubt in everybody's mind that I'm a less than average base runner or base stealer. Been working hard in winter ball, and just to work on my instincts and working on watching the ball and try to take the extra base whenever I can.
He's mastered each level. He's served his time in AAA, and it's time for him to take the next step up here and see if he's going to be the player the potential that we think he can be up here. Switch hitter with power potential, with base stealing potential, can run the ball down the outfield, can throw you out. It's just everybody talks about Bernie's instincts, but Bernie has good instincts.
It's good to come into an organization that I think has gone out and put a good team together. I think when you're traded, that's the first thing you think of. What type of team am I going to? Do we have an opportunity to win? And coming in here with the enthusiasm they put into the offseason, I think that it's really going to be fun. I mean, anytime you surround yourself by quality players, I think it's going to help me play a little bit better.
Neil is not only an outstanding defensive outfielder, but he has the potential to hit 35 or 40 home runs. It's an expansion year. Home runs usually are up tremendously. He might have one of those years.
Coming into Yankee Stadium the first time this winter, you know, it's a great feeling to walk down that tunnel and know the players, you know, have walked down there before you. So that adds a lot of excitement to me, just to the game, to know what's going on there in Yankee Stadium.
It was good to see that the hard work that I put into this game finally paid off, and part of my dream came true for a little while, and hopefully it can continue for a long while.
I've got a chance to watch him over a couple of springs, and first he didn't play much, but I think last year was he's just getting better and better. At the end of the season, he looked very good. Hit some home runs for us, and he obviously brings great speed. He's a very good outfielder. He works hard. He's in the right position. He brings a lot to our ball club.
Well, I think the whole team is made up of roles. You have the starters, you have the bench players. I think that every true baseball player wants to be a starter and wants to succeed every day, but sometimes the more valuable role is the guy on the bench that when the team needs somebody to pick him up, he's there and he can do that job well. So I pride myself in whatever job that the coach or the manager wants me to do. Well, you have to realize that there'll be times where I won't play for 10 to 12 days, and then all of a sudden the game's on the line and I get the call. So for me to prepare myself, I have to really work extra hard with our coaches. A mental aspect of the game becomes tremendous, if you do not succeed in that at bat, you got another 5 to 6 days before you can even, approach the home plate again. So you got to deal with that mentally also, but the main thing is to believe in yourself and believe in your abilities and have confidence in yourself. And then when you can do that and you work hard with your coaches, I think success will be there for you.
When you think back of the Yankees, the great Yankees, one of the first that comes to mind after Ruth and Gehrig, of course, is Bill Dickey, who, as you know, was voted the greatest living catcher back at the same time that Joe DiMaggio was voted the greatest living ball player.
A guy could foul a ball off. He'd swing and the foul tip go back, and Dickey just look over his shoulder and never move. But if he did move, there was a chance that he'd catch the ball.
When I think of Bill Dickey, I think of myself growing up in New York City on East 66th Street and going to my first ball game when I was 8 years old. Bill was still playing, probably one of the best catchers. He and Mickey Cochran, probably the two best catchers in the American League. And all I thought about was that great swing that Bill had, what a great catcher he was, tall, good-looking man. And then later on, I never thought it would happen, but I ended up playing for the Yankees, and Bill was our first base coach when I joined the Yankees in 1950, and he's just a wonderful man, a great ball player, and a real gentleman.
39 World Series, okay? First ball game, it was 1-1. Keller hit a ball to right center field, and Harry Kraft and Ivel Goodman got mixed up on it, and it turned out to be a triple. Should have been caught. Keller's on third with a winning run, last of the ninth. 1 out. The next matter is DiMaggio. Well, you're not going to pitch DiMaggio, are you? Okay, you put him on. Now you got a choice. You want to put Dickey on. He's the next hitter to load the bases for Selkirk, who can run better than Dickey. Or do you pitch to Dickey? And when I saw that McKechnie says I will pitch to Bill Dickey, I turned around and I grabbed my glove so I wouldn't lose it when this game's going to be over, because it's going to be over. That's what I thought of Dickey. Second pitch, line drive to center field. Game's over. That's what I thought of.
When we put up a plaque on the center field wall for him, when his number was retired, there was no plaque. So early that year, I called his wife and told her what we were planning to do. We go through the ceremony, And we said, Bill, now you don't have to, but if you'd like to say something, why, I'm sure the fans would like to hear you. So he knocked the place right on his butt. He said, I'm not an ex-Yankee, I'm a Yankee.
I think it's so important to know the league, to know the hitters, but more importantly, to know your pitchers, know their strength, and know their weaknesses, know what they can't do, know what their out pitch is. And that's something that I strive for, and that's something I pride myself in knowing. I have to have a real good working relationship with each umpire. I try not to say anything when I'm at the plate, on a bad call. Because I got to go back there for 9 innings and sit back there with him, catching Nolan Ryan's 7th no-hitter, without a doubt. To me, that. It's something nobody can ever take away from me. They can talk about my defense, they can talk about my lack of whatever, but I'm going to walk away from this game catching one of Nolan Ryan's, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, one of his no-hitters.
We're going to be strong at the corners and up the middle, and we're really the whole team. You look around the whole outfield, the whole infield, we're strong. You're just trying to get the best out of the pitcher that day. You don't know what they're going to have exactly when they're warming up in the bullpen. You just have to wait until you get out in the game, and you're trying to get some close calls, and sometimes you just get the feeling that certain pitches you're not going to get calls on, so you have to go to other strengths.
It's a tough job. It's a physical job. You have a lot of bumps and bruises. There's a lot of days you're going to come out to the park and you're really not going to want to, you're going to be sore and you're not going to really want to be behind there. But the nice thing about catching is, besides hitting, you're also an important part defensively.
I think they're going to have the best starting pitching in the American League East, if not the American League.
Now I think we'll be tough now, because now we got myself, Jimmy Key, and Gene Abbott, and I think those 3 pitchers, that we tough. And I think the Yankees, they can be in the top now, because now we got pitching.
He had an outstanding year last year. His ability to throw his forkball that breaks 2 different ways enabled him to have a great strikeout pitch. And he has a fastball that's 90 mile an hour plus, and he's able to locate it. He has a good slider. He can use both sides of the plate.
Melito did a great job last year, and he should have won 20 games. And I say that because we just didn't score enough runs. Bill Burgess just gave me a stat today that if we averaged 4.5 runs a game last year, if we had averaged 4 runs a game from Melito, he would have won 27 games.
I think there'll be a special feeling the first couple times out. Certainly going out there, Yankee Stadium, in the pinstripes, and I think everybody around the league knows that the New York fans are probably the most knowledgeable in all of the American League, and they'll let you know if you're not doing well. They'll let you know if you're doing well, and I guess that's all you can ask. So if you give them a fair shake, you work hard, I think they'll respect you for that, and that's what I intend to do. I grew up in Michigan, so it's like New York. I'm kind of a seasonal athlete. I played basketball in the winter, and football in the fall, and baseball in the spring and summer, and So I enjoyed playing all different sports. The Sullivan Award goes to the Amateur Athlete of the Year, given by the AAU, and I still have no idea why I won that award. I was there with some people like David Robinson and Karch Karai, Janet Evans, Kelsey Banks, people like that, and Jackie Joyner-Kersey had won it the year before, and she announced it. I really had I had zero expectations of winning that award, and when she said my name, I was shocked. I really was.
He's the most courageous athlete we'll see in many generations. I mean, I don't know how he does it. I saw him through the Pan Am Games. He's an exceptional young man.
I think we got as good a staff as anybody in the league. We just got to get innings and wins out of our top 3 guys, I think, in which we all have proven we can do it. And we just got to go out and pitch like we can pitch and take the heat off the 4th and 5th guys. My first concern is winning. I want to be a part of an organization that wants to try to win. I've played 9 years, and I was spoiled a little bit in Toronto. Every year coming out of spring training, we were either picked 1st or 2nd in a division. And so I've gotten used to that, and that was the thing I told the organizations: if you're not going to try to win over the next few years, then I thank you but no thank you type of thing.
Jimmy Key, veteran pitcher who is going to give you 215, 230 innings, and knows how to pitch, and really knows how to pitch, and he's been one of the tough ones.
I come to the baseball park with the thought of what can I do to help us win today. And if that's a tip from a pitcher or just a guy's not doing too good, or if he's got some things that he's struggling with personally, I like to take that off of them, so to speak, so that they can be the best that they can be on that day. Buck speaks a lot of what I believe in, is check your ego at the door. Come ready to play, but check your ego at the door. Nothing can happen until I let go of the baseball. And I know, and I'm fully confident in the ability that's given to me that if I do what I know I can do, you're not going to beat me. 300 hitter, 3 out of 10 times makes millions of dollars. What's that tell you? So I'll just let him get that 3rd hit off somebody else, not me. I think now it's time to get to business, go to war, let's strap it on, and may the best man win.
The Yankees were very slow with their young prospects. They didn't want to rush them too fast, but I mean, it just seemed that if I put up the numbers, they moved me up, and I was really grateful for that. And they showed me that they cared, the way they took care of me, and the way they made sure everything was all right. And I don't think they did rush me too fast. I think that whenever they felt that I was ready to move up, they moved me up, and it was really just a great experience. A couple of years ago, I was just sitting in A-ball, and here I'm in big league camp. If you don't have any confidence out there, I don't care what kind of stuff you have, you're not going to be successful. So unless you believe in yourself, no one else can believe in you. So you need to go out there and you need to do it. You need to show people that you really do believe in yourself and that you can do the job.
I think just overall approach to my game this year is going to be a little different than it was last year because I'm stronger. I'm in a little better shape, better pitching shape this year. I think a little more confidence in myself. I've gotten these guys out before. I know how to get them out. I know I've done it. It's not, can I do it? It's, how do I do it now? You look at last year, we played in a lot of one-run ball games. I think we're 2nd or 3rd in major leagues with 40 one-run ball games. One-run ball games, a play here, a pitch here, one at bat here. It's very close, and you turn that around this year, and you could be looking at first place.
Our bullpen has been awesome the last two years since I've been here, and as long as the starters go 5 innings, we can pretty much finish up almost every day. I mean, we are that deep in the bullpen with talent, and if they go 5 with the lead, we should nail it down for them.
The major thing is not making a mistake. If I come into a game and only have to throw 10 pitches for 1 inning to get 3 outs, I can't make one of the pitches be a mistake in a hitter's wheelhouse. I have to make him hit my pitch on the, make him hit it to the biggest part of the ballpark. In New York, you can't let a left-hander beat you with a inside down fastball. That's what a lot of guys hit left-handed. So you really just have to concentrate on not making any mistakes. I enjoy it. On July 4th when we have 50, 60,000 people there, I want to be in the game. I dig that. I like that.
When you come into a game and you got guys on base, you know, less than 2 outs, I mean, it's very important to take the initiative and go after the hitter and get that first strike and put him in a hole and make him think he has to do some things. You know, you don't want him being relaxed out there, you know, if you get behind him, you know, a ball or two. But definitely first pitch, I always try to go after the hitter. You know, I get zoned in. You know, sometimes people think I'm rude to talk to me, and I won't respond. But it's just that you know, I'm trying to stay focused. You know, I'm pretty much into the game because my span is a lot larger than like a Steve Howe or Steve Farr. I got to be ready, you know, basically maybe from the 4th inning on. So I really have to be into the game.
You have to put your time in, you have to put your numbers up, and I think in the long run that you know, you stay healthy, put some good quality time in on your team, I think that you will be taken care of.
I think Paul was the 3rd batter. I had a 3-2 count on him, and I was saying to myself, he doesn't think this rookie's going to throw him a 3-2 slider. And I threw a pretty good slider, and he hit it right back up the middle at me for a base hit, and it's like, okay, I'm really here. These guys are going to do their job, and you just don't get away with that stuff, just trying to spin one in there and that just for a strike on 3-2. I'd like to be a starter with the New York Yankees, but right now I feel I've got a lot of confidence last year with my ability to pitch, and I like my sinker, and I hope they do. But if they call on me to be a relief pitcher, that's fine with me.
I'm looking forward to having the announcer in Yankee Stadium, Bob Shepard, announce my name with my number and that familiar voice that we have there. And then I think all my jitters will be gone as far as going through spring training and facing hitters and alleviating any doubts that people would have about my arm and myself. And then once the season opens or whatever game I happen to pitch, I think it's just going to be like old hat again. And you never forget how to pitch. Just because I've been away a little while doesn't mean that you forget. But I think things will start coming back to me as far as the atmosphere. I won't be overwhelmed or anything, I don't think. But it'll be a special feeling.
It's a certain amount of pride, you know, especially for a guy like me growing up in New York. You know, I watched guys like Greg Nettles, Thurman Munson, Ron Guidry, Willie Randolph, guys like that play. And, you know, when you're growing up in New York, you know, Yankee baseball is it. Well, I'm basically a 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, changeup. And, you know, any given night, one of those pitches could be my best pitch. I'm not a power pitch. Although I throw 88 to 91 miles an hour, I'm not a power pitcher. I don't consider myself a power pitcher. Power pitcher in the major leagues has to throw 94, 95 miles an hour consistently, and I don't do that. To have a championship team, you got to do everything, you know, on a clock. You have to be organized. You have to know what you're doing. Everything is on a schedule. Just like here, you come in, everybody knows where they're going to be, what they're going to do, and that's just the way it's here. Everything is organized.
At this point, they have, along with the Atlanta Braves, probably the best farm system in baseball, at least in terms of prospects ready to come to the big leagues. I mean, they've got You know, they lost a lot in expansion, and they lost a lot in the Rule 5 draft, and they had to trade away 3 kids for Jim Abbott. But when you have a deep enough farm system so that you have 3 people you can easily trade to get a 25-year-old pitcher who's one of the best in baseball, I mean, to me, that speaks enough for the farm system.
What we're trying to get involved with is the top ceiling, the players with the highest possible ceilings. Maybe not near that right now, but the kids that would, when they get to the big leagues, will have the greatest impact and the best chance at longevity. So ceiling is always something that we're very interested in.
Now I've been here a year and I've seen things, I can come here and relax more because I know what to look forward to. Within the last year was just coming into something you had never done before and trying to fit in and just make it through the year so you can get to know everybody and relax. And finally, by the middle of the year or so, you get to a point where you recognize everything, you're familiar with the people, and you're more calm and more relaxed.
Well, he's a young player that I don't want him to see out here too much because I don't want him to be rushed at all. We want him to learn how to do all the little things in the game, field his position, hold runners, do the spin move, do the pickoff moves. We want him to learn how to really pitch.
Basically, I throw a fastball, curve, and change. And when everything is on, you can't really touch me.
Brian Taylor showed us everything that we needed to see in a top kid, and some of the areas that he hadn't had much experience in were, of course, fielding his position, throwing to the bases, holding runners, since not many got on against Brian. It started, I think, briefly in the instructional league the year before, and he made great strides at the big league camp last year. Our big league people were tremendous help to him, helping him with the little things that he's going to need to become a successful big leaguer. And then his first year at Fort Lauderdale, he just took off. In every category, he was equal to or superior to our scouting reports on him, and we're absolutely delighted.
Like I walked in the Yankee Stadium back in September, and you see those guys on TV like Don Mattingly. You look up to him, and then to be shaking his hand and throwing balls to him, it's kind of hard to believe. I'm still in awe of the whole thing. I think that's every player's goal, is to be a #1 pick. I mean, I saw Brian, get picked #1 and see him on TV, and you always hope to be picked high, and I was always hoping to be picked by the Yankees because I'm originally from New Jersey, so things worked out for me.
Derek Jeter is just an outstanding young man who was very projectable in every area that we tried to measure. Athleticism, aptitude, potential for strength, and then you take the tools into consideration. He really has a chance to be above average major leaguer in all tools.
I was the MVP in AA in the Eastern League last year, and it was a great honor for that. There was a lot of great players there, and to be picked as the MVP was probably one of the biggest things in my career. There's unbelievable talent in the Yankees organization, and to one day be able to throw across the diamond to Don Mattingly or something would be the ultimate. It'd be the greatest thing in the world to me.
Russell Davis has a very quick bat, one of the quickest bats you'll see when you look at a young player. He's a third baseman that's just on the rise right now. He had a fine year last year. Domingo John is outstanding. He can do some things. He has big hands. He should learn to split finger. He has a fine fastball, above average, and he has a slider that's one of the better ones in the organization. And he's young. He has a fine body that he should be a good pitcher for a long time. He has good control, knows how to pitch. Already at a young age. He should move well in our organization. We feel that he's one of our very better prospects.
Domingo John has amazing stuff. He throws very hard. He's got a great splitter. He's also very young. You could see during spring training he was nervous. He was pacing around on the mound. He's got to learn how to control stuff. They're right on schedule. Don't rush these kids.
Okay, I was born in Adelaide, Australia. A population of about 1 million people, I guess. I guess my father got me into the game of baseball when I was young. He played himself, and my father's father played. So, I've been in the family for a while, and I guess I started in the T-ball and the Little League and all that sort of thing, and it just ballooned from there. Fans can look forward to an aggressive sort of guy on the mound that throws 90 plus and likes to attack the hitters and go after them, and I have a slider and a straight change, and I think basically I have no trickery in my 3 pitches. It's just three basic pitches, and once I can throw those pitches for strikes, I'll be all set.
As far as A-ball goes, mostly if you throw strikes, you're going to have some success. Start to get your breaking ball over a little bit. In Double-A, you've got to be able to get the breaking ball over, behind in the count, and as well as spot your fastball. And then up in New York, it's more or less the same thing. You got to be able to throw your off-speed stuff behind in the count to be successful. I'm one of the guys that learned more from failing than from success. I feel like even in New York last year, I didn't have a lot of success, but I know, what I got to do to get people out.
Oh, that's my biggest highlight. That's something to dream on. Not really just to have a great year, but be the MVP of a whole league, which there are so many players, so many good players, talented. It was something that I felt proud of myself, because the time that I took to work on it, work hard, and stay after it.
Kiki Hernandez has got a bright future for us. He's a kid that's worked very hard. He's shown the ability to hit. He's hit with some surprising power. He's got an above-average arm. He's a good receiver, a very headsy player.
I really look forward to being remembered as Mr. October. I feel fortunate. Brings a gleam to my eye, a happy thought to my that comes through my face, and it's nice, I guess, to be part of baseball history in that way. The stories that will continue to go on about Mr. October in the World Series, of the fathers that saw me play that'll become grandfathers and tell their grandchildren. And so that's a very, it's a cherished part of my life.
Well, the first thing that you remember about the month of October and Reggie Jackson went hand in hand. He hit a home run the night that I was pitching in the 4th game. And one home run, it wasn't, people have hit one home run in a series before, no big thing, but nobody really thought about the home run. But then the next night, the 5th game, he got a couple of hits, and then the last time up, he hit a home run off of Sutton. The 6th game comes up, first time up, steps up to the plate, first pitch, hits a ball into right field for a home run. Oh well, hey, he hit a home run last night, he hit a home run first time up, hey, pretty good couple of times at bat. The game went on, and second time he comes up, gets up there again, one pitch, whop, man, he must have got a great night's sleep. So now everybody kind of, God, that's 3 home runs, man, hit in the last 3 times at bat. So man, everybody was jumping up and down. And he got, at that point, he was pumped up. At that point, you could tell that he was more involved into what he was doing. And then he comes up later on in the game. And we're all sitting down, and now you're screaming, do it again, do it again, do it again. You know, people up in the stands, do it again, do it again. And one pitch, whop, now his ball goes out in center field. And, you know, people are screaming, we're screaming. I had never seen anything like that. You read about them, but you don't see it. But, you know, to sit down and actually be a witness and a part of it, and then to be there when he gets into the dugout, you know, to congratulate him. I mean, everybody was just, I was happy for him. You know, we won the series, but, you know, the way that we won was great. The way that he culminated that year was great.
What I did is had the ability to focus on one thing. I was only concerned about putting the fat part of the bat on the baseball. And I didn't feel there was anything that could stop me from doing that. I didn't really care who was pitching. In fact, I wanted everyone to be really healthy, feel good, get a good meal, be ready, have a great year, and have all your confidence, because I'm going to be ready too. And I felt the more confident a player was, the more he would come at me, and it would be easier. The better year someone had, or the Cy Young Award winner, or the guy that was the best, that's the guy I wanted, because he was coming right to you. And I felt like I had plenty of chances to make something happen during a ball game. I honestly felt that in that week, 7 games, that I was going to hit 2 home runs and drive in 5 or 6 runs, and nothing was going to stop me from doing that. And I didn't think it was that hard to do. That's what I thought at the time. May have been crazy, or a good thing I didn't tell anyone that, but I really felt like I was going to, in the 7 games, I was going to get 25 at-bats, and I was going to hit 2 400-foot fly balls in a week.
First time he comes up to the plate in spring training, whop, one pitch, wow, you know, and we're going like, Jesus Christ, let's see, if he hits 600 times a year and he takes 600, so he gets 600 home runs a year. But, you know, we talked to him about it. What did it feel like? You know, guys like me never gets to hit, you know, much less hit anything. You know, a guy hits 3 home runs in a game, hits 4 of them in a row, comes up spring training, hits 1, and then the first game of the year he hits 1. Game that I pitched, he hit 1 the first time up. So, you know, I always just ask him, what was it like, you know, and he says, well, it's hard to describe. You don't know what you're doing. You know, you're just trying to hit and the balls jump it out and you get home runs. But he said, you know, the whole time I wasn't trying to do that. And I said, well, you know, then you start teasing, well, if you're not trying to do it, then why don't you do it more often than when you're not trying? He said, because it doesn't work that way.
I believe that the Hall of Fame is a very special, revered place of the tens of thousands of players that have played professionally. There's like 165 or 70 in the Hall of Fame. I always enjoyed the people, the quickness, their wit, their spontaneity. They're quick to analyze and figure something out and get to it. And to be able to cut through the maze, to cut through the fog, to cut through the unnecessary things that you get in most places in the world. I enjoyed New York, still enjoy it, and I have respect for New York. New York is the only city in the country. Everything else is a town.
Yankee tradition is probably, while a lot of major league clubs have a lot of tradition, it's probably the most famous, and it's been written about enough, and it rubs off, I think. I got to play a Yankee in my last movie. Of course, the Yankees let the guy go, but I don't care.
I'm trying to learn how to play tennis by myself. I have my own jug machine, and I have to learn by myself because with the payroll on the Yankees, I can't afford lessons.
Well, what I mean?
Buck usually kicks me out of the dugout about the 4th inning. He can't take it anymore because I'm drilling guys with flower seeds and stuff like that. And then I go down to the bullpen and I harass them until I have to go into the ballgame.
Oh, Bobby Knight, man, he's like the king, you know. What are you gonna say, man? He's the best coach of all time. All right, you got it.
Turn it off, all the other way.
figured if I can get through New York traffic, I can get through a big league game.
Yeah, the Bulls. Michael Jordan puts on a show every game, so I watch him all the time.
Because a flower pot has about the same personality as he does.
Well, what I mean?
I guess I pretty much sit in the bullpen. I sit in one spot the whole game, and he says a flower pot moves more than I do.
All right, okay, here we go. Taps up a little bit, a little bit. And look up to him.
Yeah, when he says,
yeah,
very
right.
well.
No problem.
I'm going to shoot. Just give me a full face view if you can. 1, 2, 3.
I'll tell you where the missile installations are. Jesus. All right, everybody. If you don't have a bat, hands on your hips.
What?
All right?
Everybody ready? Count
Like
to 5
this.
or 3? Come on. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay.
Submarines are in the Mediterranean.
1, 2, 3.
It's going to be real good.
1, 2, 3.
Where you guys are, you stand this. I don't know. Look at these pictures.
1, 2, 3.
I don't know, Sandy. How do you think this is nice?
1, 2, 3.
Give me those bats. We'll do an arms cross.